And so, thank you for joining me. I'm always so excited to play with you. You
Thank you for
just
inviting me.
you just bring the magic to the magical, you know? You really do. Your beautiful energy, your love, your extraordinary perspectives just enhance everything that I'm experiencing. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Laura. Mm.
And I'll just mention on this recording here that this energy date came to my attention this morning as
Mm.
02202020. So we are definitely sitting in the energies of the magnificent twos and zeros and tuning in to see what's on offer today in that amazing energy.
Mm-hmm.
Makalakaine e sakirikia wakoshiana. Avate era ki ashokalai e sakaine. Oma kala asa kala ama kala kialo kaine. Amanakai elavakai omakai omakai om. Asalakai om. A lot of light language coming in this week also without any sense of what's going on. It's just in the midst of an ordinary day, driving, showering, doing house chores, not stopping to like try to figure out
Mm.
what's happening, but sporadically all week long, light language has just
Mm.
been bursting up and out, coming through.
Mm.
Mokayana ki alo kayawa om ala. So I'm curious what you're perceiving.
Yes. For now, Laura, all I see is that we're inside a beautiful golden structure. It reminds me of both a pine cone and a honeycomb because of those geometric forms that make up the whole. It also kind of reminds me of flower petals arranged concentrically in rows, so they form that beautiful lattice or layer.
So if I
And
understand you, you're seeing a lot of symmetry in form,
yes,
a lot of
hmm
supportive symmetry. Sounds like, uh-huh.
yes. So we're inside that. That's immediately where we popped up in the middle of.
Mhm.
And then after that, the immediate next thing was a feeling of some kind of attunement to the vibration of that field. So it's different. It's a lot faster than the vibration of our earth right now. So on a bodily level, it felt to me like as we were standing in the middle of that space, which is bounded by that beautiful symmetrical geometric form, we were inducted into a different vibration. So even in a bodily way, on a bodily level, we're there now.
Mhm.
And so what I'm observing next is there seems to be a change down the central axis, and all around us, the lights, there are lights that seem to be opening up on the inside of the structure. And I guess it looks like, lights are coming on inside those pockets that the layers or the rows of energy make. So, they kind of look like little caves or the inside of a
Oh,
flower
uh-huh.
petal. Yeah, so we're inside that, so we're surrounded by it. Oh, and now there's that dragon energy rising up through you. So I see you and her at the same time now.
And she looks more white to me now. She began as seafoam
Mm.
green with this
Mm.
seafoam energy, and um, water energy came in with the waves. I could see like the
Mm.
foam on the waves. And then when she embodied me, came fully into my full body, um, she had that green color. But as you're speaking, I see her now as in a white.
Yes, like ivory or alabaster, something like that. Some beautiful, beautiful soft stone energy. Hmm?
Makalakaine, amanakaya osaka e sakia lokoya no kai. Amanakaile e sakaine amanaka a. Ela baka I sikia wako shinaina. Omanakaile baka I sikia wako. Shamala kaile asokaine. Ama ala om. Aum om. Aum om.
Yes. And that transmission opened up like fountains of different layers of fountains of light coming up. So it looked like light would shower up one level, and then the level above it would shower, and its range would be wider, and so on. So it looks like there are 24 layers of these fountains coming up. So along the full height of you as the great dragon Sophia, so far above your head.
All week I've had a sense that there's work occurring to coordinate the third eye and the ears, the seeing, clear seeing, clear hearing in a more unified, coherent way with the power center, the solar plexus. And this sort of girding or structural support for the power of love to be here without the need for love to have this authority. It is a kind of authority, but it's not a dominating. It's not an oppositional kind of love. It has no opposition. It has no need for the kind of force that would try to dominate, because it is everything. It is just the purity of this energy that came in today was really the purity of the Divine Mother. It's just so clear and pure, and it's just such a gift. It's not a doing. It's a state of being that is
Yes.
so full and complete. It's not like an energy to go activate or do something. It doesn't feel like that force. It feels like the gift of just surrendering and falling into that which you already are and remembering it so effortlessly. And the heart doesn't resist that because it's not this doing. It's just this returning. It's an offering. Makaila asai. Mochinea. Nene hetahe.
Oh, I can see where we are now, Laura. It's like we are in some kind of beautiful seed in the center of the Earth's core. We're intersecting the holy places of Earth that are on the non physical level. So, I can see there's like a doorway to what looks like Shambhala, and then there seems to be a doorway that leads to Telos, and there's another one that leads to uh, like an outpost of Atlantis, and so on. So there are four of these doorways that are open to the seed, so at the core of the earth. And the fourth one leads down, not to Telos though. Oh, it leads down to the cities in the South Pole.
Oh, interesting. Because for like 3 years now, I keep being directed to hold energy in Antarctica without really knowing what I'm doing. I'm just, every time I go to the globe to see where in the earth needs my attention, it's always Antarctica.
Yeah, so those cities there, they have been a lot more isolated from the energy of the other places of light on the earth. So I think that's why you've been guided to support them that way. But here, the seed of the heart of the Divine Mother that's seated in the core of the earth has access to these four areas.
It's interesting you mentioned that it feels like this holy access to the holy planes, because that's what the dragon told me it was. It
Mm,
was the holy energy. It was the holy creation, and the holy. What I interpreted or felt was it holds this matrix for the the Earth's heart's dream
mm,
of
mm,
her vision of herself. Like this Sophia is how I see her, and this dragon introduced itself as Sophia, which to me is the Divine Mother's perfection and the
mm,
holy energy, the energy of wholeness, the return to that pure source creation potential.
mm, mm, mm.
So you're getting that too. And I
Yes.
definitely feel that dragon connected so much into the earth. It was really emerged for me at the point of the Earth star. And so I felt like indeed it was definitely connected to the earth core. But you've
Mm,
helped me understand too that its holy energy is really connecting to the holy energy at the center of the earth,
mm, mm,
and the divine potentials of matrix creation for living the holy, light, if you will, the living light.
mm. Yes. Making it a mainstream way of life, not just for these four holy kingdoms that have been
Mhm.
holding this kind of energy. Mm,
And to have that emerge in my physical body today, first as the dragon's egg and then as the dragon itself, I guess would metaphorically mean this is about embodying that holy dream, that holy vision, and living it as embodied humans, not tipping into
mm,
it through a vision or a meditation, although that's how we will bring it here in a sense, but bringing it here so that we can live it, not so that we can leave here and go into it over,
mm,
because this isn't enough. We're going to make this more than enough. We're going to restore this to be the holy creation that we always
mm,
have known was possible, and kind of why we incarnated to facilitate that birth,
mm, mm,
that
mm.
return.
Yes. All right. So those four kingdoms are sending golden threads into the seed. So that's surrounding us now, Laura.
It just makes me cry. It's so beautiful. It's just, I don't see it, what you're seeing, but I feel the energy. It's just so beautiful. It's so pure. It's just such a, it reminds me of, when you're in a crisis in life, and the crisis, you hold yourself together through the tough part, because you have to have yourself grounded in the experience that's happening and unfolding. And then when it's over and the crisis is over and you're safe again, that crying because you're finally able to relax and know that you're okay. And it's like feel like I'm feeling the collective tension that's just been holding itself together until it can get in that space where it knows it's okay and it's accomplished what it came to accomplish. And not that there's not more, but the more that is available is the joy, it's the fun, it's the rebuilding of something after the crisis or after the
Mm, mm,
completion of whatever was holding us in such um, tension. And
mm,
that's the separation, the sense that we're not already perfect, whole, complete. And we've always been so in this becoming more, and that holds us in this almost crisis tension. Certainly the crisis of the planet isn't going to make it, and what are we going to do? We've been holding that for so long, and I feel like this collapsing into and just crying at the end of the it's not exactly the trauma of it all, but just knowing that you can just fall safely into the mother's arms and that you are safe and it is all okay. And
mm,
to return to that state of all is well and well-being is just huge. And I realize I'm feeling it, but I'm only feeling it as a representation of the collective, because it's everything that either of us experience, of course, is available to all.
Mm-mm.
Eshinehena ki aloka e wan hunchinehera ka isi ki hawatu ka ine. Ala ama ki aloka le esa ka ishi ki ano ka oma. And I just have so much thank you, energy arising for this merging back into that beautiful core potential, seed core
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes.
in the earth. Yeah, that we're so part of. We've never been a part of, separate from that. We've always been part of that, that dream.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So the Divine Mother's seed is really anchoring all of this in such big, thick roots. You know, as each root is as wide as the body of a person.
Yeah.
So that's really anchoring solidly into the core, into the dimensional grids and the magnetic and electromagnetic grids.
That makes sense, because the last few weeks I've been really being shown your energy's here, your energy's here, your energy's here. They've really been expanding my center column, and they keep having me work with, we're here. Okay, we're going here. Like, we're here. Now we're going here, to really widen. And a lot of that was more surrender than work. It was more just allowing, because, to be in receivership of all that is possible is not always easy for the human. It's not always easy to believe it's possible, or to believe that we deserve or have the ability to help create it, that we're part of that creation unfolding.
Yes, so thank you for allowing and being. And we're also sending up energy roots to the heavens, Laura. So this is grounded firmly on earth and in heaven.
Shim,
Um,
shim, shim.
yes. So the roots are going up to the eighth dimensional level, where it's very stable and less polarized, although still with the allowing for duality. And then there are also roots reaching for ninth and tenth. Ninth and tenth.
Shamala kaine hera kaisikiwa. Ine and the haine he kiawa. To kokoya no kaile sakale era kiawa kukiano. Shumai. Ula patai ela baki isikiwa. Now, earlier this week, it felt like there was a real focus on the embodiment of love as a power. So I think a lot of us go to the heart for love, but it was like we had to pull it in that solar plexus space. We really had to let the golden light fill us and be the sun. And we know that sun is at the center point of our heart, that great central sun, but we had to let it move in our body into the place of power, not power over, not force, but to be the love force that we are. It felt like that had to open, we had to open to power, which so many of us fear, abusing power. So many of the light workers and so many of the people are like, don't want to be, we'll go to love, but we don't want to go to power. And so we go to the heart, but we're not really always sitting in that solar plexus energy of the fuller body embodiment of love. And so I felt that all happening a few days ago, maybe just yesterday, actually. And then I feel like that's what had to ignite for this deservability, for this allowing of this bigger dream to come through us. Because, you know, if you don't feel like you have the power to be part of that dream, the love power, the love force that forces nothing really, it just welcomes and transmutes everything in such a gift kind of way. It's like a gift of relief to fall back into that which you are. It's not a journey, it's not an efforting, it's not a seeking, it's just a releasing and allowing and receiving. Alahena hena hena. Menehena kaine anokai. Mokoya no kai elabakai. Menehena kai le erabaka aisi. So I'm having this awareness that part of the reason this is coming in through the dragon energy, partly because, you know, the dragon energies represent creation and the egg representing the cosmic egg and all of that. But if so much of the teachings have been coming through the divine feminine that people associate with the woman, the female, and it's often experienced as a polarization to the male energy when it comes in that way. Oh, so this divine feminine is that which I am, and then there's this separating that occurs in this, well then let's harness or subdue or master that divine masculine that's gotten so out of balance. And this is what it's showing me. You can't do this by force, by external force, by polarization, by, well, now we're going to, you know, put a cap on the masculine in order to have the feminine have her power, because the feminine in her power doesn't need to cap anything, doesn't need to suppress anything. And so what they're showing me is the dragon energy comes in, and it is this divine mother. It's, you know, those beautiful dragon eyelashes that I got to see her bat at me, you know, but I was asking who she is. And, you know, she's very clearly in her feminine nature, but her sense of, she's in such a balance with the feminine masculine wholeness that allows her to be the womb of creation. And it's has no opposition or suppression whatsoever to anything. And I think that's really important to note, because a lot of people going in the divine feminine are going, and it's definitely a role and an opportunity to see through the eyes of the warrior. But in order to go into the feminine, they're almost going into the masculine and claiming it as feminine, rather than going into the feminine and being in the fullness of the feminine womb essence as the creative force that love is, and opening all the potentials that are part of that. So they're saying essentially there can be no supplanting of one energy for over another, but there can be a superseding. And I don't, you know, personally really understand the nuance of that terminology. You cannot supplant, meaning suppress and replace, but you can supersede in some sense of seeding something that is of a fuller, truer essence will rise up. Okay, so they're sort of saying you can't just suppress, but when you supersede, when you bring in something that is of the fuller, truer nature, what it does is it takes that which it is superseding into its fuller capacity, into its expanded, more whole self, rather than squashing it. So it cannot be about suppression. It has to be about loving it into its fullness. And that's what they're showing me. This dragon energy has this neutrality, this balance of the masculine feminine so fully in its essence that it helps us pull ourselves into or embody that balance better, they're saying, than when we try to understand it through divine masculine, divine feminine, and what are we trying to embody and bring in, because then we start dealing with what feels like separate parts.
Right, this energy is being communicated to the other kingdoms like minerals and plants and animals. So, as you continue bringing in and putting in words what this activation is all about, Laura, uh, there are energies representing these nature kingdoms coming into the center with us and receiving the vibration as well.
Yeah, so much wisdom, but it doesn't feel like a teaching. It's just
Mm-mm,
so much of an embodiment of what's already there, but
mm-mm,
doesn't even feel like an activation. It just feels like a return, like a remember. It's just
mm-mm,
so organic, so natural,
mm-mm,
that it doesn't come with questions and answers or teachings and statements. It just comes as an essence. It's
mm-mm,
just recognized as what it is.
mm-mm. Maybe just affirmed as you're saying or describing it. Yes.
Mhm. Like the energy itself is so full in as we embody it that it doesn't really need an articulation. It just needs to be the experience of it. And I keep trying to articulate so that people will get it, but they're saying, like, don't worry about it because people will get it just by feeling it.
The transmission, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the same way that these different kingdoms are now receiving the transmission by joining us energetically inside the seed, the heart of the seed of Divine Mother's energy.
Mahana he ne he ne he ne he ne. Hana hana he. Amahai.
Mm.
Like see truth, speak truth, embody truth, walk truth. It's like this all through the center column, just this coherence, this amazing golden light coherence, this amazing white light purity at the core of it. It's just this laser
Mm.
connection. So pure, so clear, so full in its essence, origin state, that everything that can come through that, everything that comes through that is alive. It has that living light at its essence core, and that will just change everything in our reality. It just starts to move out through us, and it's welcoming and it's enriching and it's the abundant, the infinite supply, it's the universal love. It's just so embracing. um, and we don't have to do anything. We just let it do through us. It is us.
Mm.
And then another wave of that deep, like, oh my gosh, it's so pure and beautiful. Touches my heart. With arms around, it's like, it's time to fly. It's time to fly, beautiful angels. It's time to fly. Your wings are no longer clipped. You're not stuck here. And it's not about leaving here. It's just about knowing you're not entrapped. It's about living in the fullness of being here. You're not caged. Your wings are not clipped.
Mm.
Everything is here for you because everything is here in you. And it's always been that way. Just couldn't access it easily before, and now you can. It's yours. always been yours. And so this is a time of celebration. It's the homecoming. And the home is in you. It's in your heart. It's in your cells. It's in your consciousness, your eternal state. It's in you. It is you. There is no home to get to. You are it. It is here. Honor your sacred self in your home. That's it.
So this is going out as a transmission. The whole seed, the whole crystal gold structure is vibrating. The core, the roots, all of it, sending it out loud and clear to all that have hearts to hear.
Shum. Oh my gosh. Mm.
As the vibrations reach out, Laura, the frequency of where it has gone through is changing, growing light, like a light blue with a gold weave through it or a gold shimmer. So that's spreading throughout the world from the core as it vibrates this message out, this reminder.
Mm-hmm. And I feel it vibrating out from the center of the earth, not just from our fields and our consciousness, but the one center.
Yes, from the core
From the
itself.
core of the
The
earth,
energy.
yeah. I like feel the vibrations moving out from the center. And I was hearing, brothers and sisters, it's time to unite in the Sacred Heart. So that, again, that masculine and feminine, it's just about unifying into the one space where both energies, distinct and beautiful and whole and complete as they are, uphold and honor each other. Menehena ki alokaine abaka asai oma tehera ki awa. Mo koina koile e sekiaro kaino haine. And so as the masculine and feminine unite within the Sacred Heart, so too then can the above and below, the heaven and the earth, unite in the Sacred Heart. And then there's just the one space that is pure and whole and infinitely supportive. Mahanehene ki alokaya no hote we sikiawa koshine. Menehene ki awa kohia hotahe. Mukoya na ki alokoya wa sebe e da ki awa ki ano shama. Hamahane anokoya wa kochia wa kuchine. Love is here. All is united in the heart. Look to the heart and you are home. In that space, all the answers you seek reside. Mohonehe nekialo kai nehe rekiawa samai. Nehe nekialo koyano kai e sakai wa shokai nehe rabahai. Mohonehe nekialo kai wa hesea wa shum. And I'm seeing like the dragon Sophia birthing lots of little babies, dragons, because it's like she represents the new earth potential. But of course, within that potential are so many realities. so many different, each individual will have their own new earth creation, if you will. It'll spark out from the, their heart core, their idea, their vision of what is the earth. And it's like have you ever had one of those exercises in a, circle, energy circle, where everyone in the room is asked to write a little description or a note about how they perceive somebody else? And then that other person gets 12 or 20 descriptors of how others see them. So what they're showing me is, it's almost like if every person's vision of the new earth from their own point of view, their own glory of the earth, of Sophia in her, finest expression, could gift their love to her in a vision. That's what I'm seeing, like this one potential of the frequency of new earth, the unified heart, the essence of new earth. And then everybody gets to create their own version of that. And then earth gets to just relish in the many views that love has of and for her. And that's just so exquisite to see that we all get to be creators of a new earth reality that we want to reside in. And that is our gift to the planet. And she gets to just wrap herself in the many views of how love sees her.
That's it. I can see the transmission has reached the edges of Earth, Laura. So it's uh, the transmission energy is now reaching upwards and downwards and around to like seal it in a beautiful sacred geometry,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like a really, really big diamond around the Earth.
Mm-hmm. Hene hene kia lo kai omaka asa kai ne abakai homana kai le sakiri kia wa mo kia lo kai I sikia wa otai wa. Oh my gosh, it's just, I feel so much the energy of divine perfection just pulsing, pulsing, pulsing. Chim, 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 chim. Every moment, every breath is another pulse of divine love, divine perfection, essence, source essence. Just, and that's the superseding. That's where everything gets not suppressed, not rejected, not, cleared as we've been doing for so long in our understanding, but embraced into its higher potential and expression, back to its greater fullness of that which it originated in and from. Mahane hene hene anakahiwa. Hera hera kai ishikia wako taine amanakaia wa omakala a sakale ere kia wako chia wako taine. Hotahera ki asoko ishine era ka ala mbahai. Some kind of a field forming around the head, the top of the field, the egg part here. Tenehena ka ala era ki ashokoya no hotaine. Now being reinforced all the way down. So, I'm used to being in the awareness of sitting at the center point of a sphere that I am, the universe within, the universe around. But this feels very much like this egg shape, but it's this cosmic egg. It's not the individual human with their individual auric field. This is like the human as the one in the cosmic field. Mehene Kealo Kaiwa Shimaine, understanding of themselves as that eternal state, essence, awareness, cosmos. One. Mohonahena kiwa. So the vision I have is like, if you can imagine like a village where people are living in survival and all the children have to work to, like task, like really work, not just, help out a little. I mean, they are tasked for the survival of the family to everyday work. And then all of a sudden they're free. And the children I see leaving these, meager homes or whatever to run outside and play. And just the sheer joy of the freedom is amazing. And that's what feels like it's on offer here, is we don't have to keep doing the seeking, ascending, becoming, the efforting of restoring ourselves. The restoration is here. Just accept it. Just go into it. Let go of the work and be in the experience of being whole and complete and free. To enjoy everything. Everything. The kids just run out, to play and explore and interact with all that they haven't been able to play with because they've been so busy tasking with survival for their family. It's all here for us to just run and play and explore and discover and enjoy all of it.
Yeah. That's going into, like, it's transmitting into our hearts, all hearts. So it's also not just externally spread, but internally imprinted, as it were, or reconnected here.
Allowing it to be easy, allowing the freedom to be here now, complete, available, received, experienced. It's like the activation of the permission for freedom.
Mm.
And in the freedom to love yourself exactly as you are, without the efforting for improvement, becoming, that places you in that state of self-love that opens the door to all that you seek and perceive as more, better, improvement, more expanded whole self. But all the striving will not get you there. All the mental activity, study, work toward won't get you there. It just has to be through self-love. It just has to be through the center of your own being. That's where you return home. That's where home is. Literally, it's an inside job. Mm-hmm.
Yes. And it's anchoring into individual bodies now, Laura, through unique anchoring points and also in the DNA. So that I'm seeing that happen now.
It's like most of humanity has been living in this acute state of PTSD, in this like hot spot of fight or flight, and the polarities of I'm not enough, I need more, the lack, the survival, the self-criticism and all of that. And it's like, it's just dissolving, not being diminished or denied for the experience. This is that, felt so intense and traumatic, and the experiences are to be honored. But what's dissolving is the trauma and the stress frequencies, vibrations, the survival frequencies and vibrations, so that we can uphold ourselves, not in spite of these things that seem to define us, but to go beyond the definition and the defining of those moments, so that we claim them and then we see what more we are beyond them, and what more we always have been, what more has always been there and available. But by our agreement, not. Or we never would have been able to have these experiences here. How could a soul ever experience itself in limitation if it knew that it was the infinite? It couldn't. Monakaile, Sabakaile, Omakaile, Omakaile, Omakayama, Omakaya, Omakaya, Hene, Hene, Yama, Hene, 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 Shim. Shim. Om. Om. Shamakaya.
This is aligning and locking into all grids, dimensional and magnetic and electromagnetic.
Mhm. Amakala kaile e sakaine he sapahata. Amakaela kaine auma sakai. Got our little kitty friends here. Hey, doll baby. Samakaile awakochi. Nene hena. Takai la kai. Shim. Tataine. Makoewa sukaine amana alakai. Sham.
Good. The whole array is shining so brightly, Laura. It's almost something I can't. It's almost so bright I can't look at it anymore.
We'll let it be a feeling then.
Hmm.
Mm. 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 And so it seems like, well, what my impression here is, as we return to the beloved, which is our true self, it allows us to be in an ease and a presence. And in that ease and presence, it allows us to remember not only who we are, but also that which we created. And to become centered in that original creation potential of love's magnificent explosion into the many that all carry a spark of the one. And the magnificence is accessible and available, and it's tangible. Even if it seems invisible and nebulous and unknown, there's a feeling, an essence that we can return to and sit in and call forth. And within that essence, we remember we're part of existence that is eternal and ever creating and ever experiencing more. And in that remembrance, it's like the fountain rises and these exquisite energies just emit from us, from our connection to the earth, from our connection to the source above. It all is here within the source within. And all that just starts to like make sense without the mind. It just starts to feel congruent and whole and accessible without purpose or plan or agenda, because it's just a being. It's an essence that we're remembering, recovering, restoring. And that in itself is the key to anything we might do or call forth or allow to express and move through us. And so it just feels like this gift on this day of the 02202020 is this amazingly balanced, whole, stable creation essence, accessible now within ourselves. And that means it's accessible in all selves, all beings, if we look deep enough into their core, we can find it there too. There is nowhere that love doesn't exist. Just look deeper. Mm. Mm. Mm.
That's coming through in a particular sparkle at the center here of every embodied person. It's alive.
Mm. Feels like it's creating or bringing our attention to an already existing interface between that impersonal void space that is the seat of all, the origin of all, and yet while it is love, it is so impersonal that it can feel it like detached from need, agenda, outcome, matrix, concern. And so it feels like this provides an interface. I've read somewhere someone said that love is light personified. And it feels like this Sophia energy is such a balanced love that it gives me, and I assume others have this tendency to toggle between the source energy, the seat, the heart, the impersonal, the neutral, and then, the human, the personal, reactive state of identification with relationship and, the world around you and your reality as you are in it, in a scripted matrix, if you will. And so from the non-scripted to the scripted, and so it feels like what this Sophia energy provides to my awareness is this bridge to go from impersonal neutral to neutral love to balanced love. And that balanced love is something I think I'll be able to really work with to re-engage the matrix I exist in here, because the neutrality leaves me a little bit voided of the matrix reality here and disengaged from any matrix. And so I feel like this is a way to re-engage anything in creation from the love seed core potential without having to be so neutral in terms of disengaged from that experience or that matrix or that potential, but to be engaged in it from balanced love rather than impersonal, voided, neutral space. So this may be a real helpful thing for me, for sure, for others maybe who are tapping into that void energy that can be so whole, complete, and perfect in and of itself that you can't find the relevance to engage anything, because what would be the point? When the universe is at the end, what's the point of going out? And yet we exist here. We're here to be in life and enjoying it, to be those children running out and exploring and enjoying everything joyfully, fun. It's not work. It's not tasking. And so I think one of the gifts I'm noticing of this is to use this energy as the interface between this pure source energy of the void and the worlds of creation, which are equally whole and complete and part of, it's that paradox. And instead of always which needing to be in one or the other, I think this becomes like an interface or a bridge that lets me move a little bit more fluidly in those spaces of creation, because this Sophia dragon energy is really creation energy. Creation's so bursting with potential that you have to engage it, view it, welcome it, and appreciate what's possible. Run out and play in it. Amakala, Oma. Eakala, Om. Alakala, Oma. Eakala, Om. Amakala, Asama. Eawa, Om. Shim halakayawa, Om.
For that last part, Laura, so it wove into the rainbow creation weave. So that's already like triple anchored or triple grounded.
It feels so joyful, and like when the sunlight comes out and just everything feels exciting again after you've been in, it's like spring, after winter. This feels like so much bursting of engagement, energy, but without the enslavement of the old matrix conditioning. And so that, again, the children running out to play with such exuberance, without any concern for what's before them and what are they going to do. No planning, it's just, it'll all unfold, and it'll do so organically when you're in joy of engagement, joy of experience. The joy of creating and experiencing creation, but not getting trapped in it, not confusing yourself with your creations, getting lost in them as your identity. And then you're free to create again and again and again. And every moment is a renewal and a rebirth. Every breath, something is here, something new. And you're not entrapped in what you've started or what you've perceived or what you've embraced and created already, because there's always something more. So I have this sense of a dimensional doorway. It's like this tiny, gap through space. Like you have to just look at it just the right way to see it, I don't know what's beyond there, but there's like a slip portal here that we could like. When I go through, I end up cycling back around like a side, like I loop around and come back to the front, and then I go through and I cycle back around. I don't know what that is. I've never seen an energy like that, where it is this little gap. When I go through, come back to where I started.
Yes, that seems to be showing that the energy is one and the same, and it is everywhere, and it all leads back to itself.
So no matter where you go, there you are, kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So it really demonstrates or deepens that awareness that there is nowhere to go because you're already there. We're already there.
So that totality is accessible anywhere. And if you try to go somewhere to access more, you end up right where you were because it's already there.
It's already
Mm-hmm.
in you or part of you all along.
Mm. Feels like a big belly laugh rising around that, like the game we play with ourselves to go somewhere and get somewhere, and it's better. And then the vision ends with me on top of the world, like the highest mountain peak, looking out across all the earth. And it doesn't, like, you can be right here and be there. It just, you don't have to go anywhere because you're already there. Just change your view, change your focus, and you're there. So why not be here?
Yeah, so it feels like a very big step, change, shift.
Kind of like as soon as you realize you're in a matrix of your own creation, you can step right out of it. You're in this loop, and then you kind of go, oh, I don't have to do that. I'm here. Every time I go there, I'm here. It's funny.
Yes.
Hey, sweetie, they're all visiting us today.
I think they're trying to say she wants snacks.
Yeah, well, we can let you go. I feel like we've come to a point of, a completion point. And I really appreciate you helping to flesh this whole Sophia energy, this dragon energy, this cosmic egg, energy that's been coming into my awareness for a week now, and helping me see it through your perspective and enhancing it with me like that. Thank you.
Thank you for inviting me to join you here, Laura. Thank you.
Always my joy and pleasure to play with you. I love your perspectives and your great wisdom. And that's the other thing I feel like what came in on the Sophia energy is this wisdom that doesn't require knowledge, teaching. It isn't about listening and learning something. It's an innate kind of wisdom that's just part of the essence of the Sophia energy, of that balanced love energy. And it doesn't require learning anything. It just is fully integral in the essence of that energy. So as you embody that energy and reawaken that within yourself, because it was there or you wouldn't even be relating to it or resonating with it as we do this. But as you resonate and relate, it awakens it within yourself. It reverberates that true state within. And then the full essence of it is available, and it doesn't require all this mental understanding. And then it's like a plug-in, now you've got it accessible and available, and it will operate through you. How simple.
Yes.
Thank you, dear.
Thank you very much.
Have a beautiful night. Sleep. We'll talk soon.
Thank you, Laura.
Happy February 2020.
Yay. Thank you.
Right.
Bye for now.